This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about Queen Mary and the King, Frederico. Do you know,
I'm really struggling to find, right, that it's completely turned around for him. A month or two ago, he was the worst person in the world with these photos with another woman. And now it's like he's getting a little bit emotional yesterday and it's finally our king is here and our queen.
In his mind, he's going, it's going to be harder to cheat, isn't it? I've got even more bloody cameras on me now. I just said to Tommy, what's their last name? Tommy, you said Denmark.
Well, I wasn't quite sure.
Frederik, Denmark.
I don't think.
I have found it, sorry.
What is it?
They don't have a surname as such.
In your best Danish.
But it's referred to as the House of Glutsburg.
Oh, Gluttensburg.
Not Gluttensburg, but
Tom,
Glutsburg.
they have to have a surname. Yeah. They have to. Like, it's legally, they have to. How do they travel?
Yeah, show us your passport, mate. Hey, Frederico, where's your passport? I mean, we know that the British royal family is Windsor. The Windsor family.
Yeah. What does he put down when he does travel, though? Like, what does he put down for his occupation?
Well, King of Denmark.
Public servant. Serial cheater.
You can imagine customs in the US. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, mate. How long are you here for? Where are you staying? What's the address? Give me a contact number of someone that you know.
Look, you can see it from here. He just writes down ladies' man. Occupation, lad. Royal lad. Can I go through? What's the problem?
I just can't get into it.
Neither
I
can
really cannot get in. I just don't understand it, and I can't get into it. But can you please give me more about this ceremony? I need to learn it.
13/24/10. If you're into it and you know a little bit about it, or like Fitzy, and I think you might know where I'm going here, Fitz. I'm exactly the same as you. Don't get me wrong. Over there, it must be fantastic. And there's a great story about Princess Mary, the girl from Tassie. We get it. We get that bit. And that's the most interesting part about it. But what happens over there, it's bloody boring. And I've had a quick look at the news services this morning to see how many stories are running. This is what I found with a 3-minute look. Behind the scenes of King Frederik's proclamation. Is that how I say it? The Danish royal sharing intimate stories. Then they go on to talk about how it's their first day. The lead story, right, on the Daily Mail this morning was it was their first day as King and Queen and they visited Parliament. The PDA on the balcony was dubbed forced, and that was an uneasy public kiss. That could be a sign of trouble in paradise. The truth about Mary's sad carriage ride after the royal watchers expressed concerns for the new Danish queen. What are you talking about? Who's clicking on any of this?
Yeah,
what about this? What about this one? They say there's a story that says she wore white as a sign for her to throw shade at her husband because white represents innocence. And of course, he's had a bit of a checkered past. Then it goes on to talk about Prince Christian, the son. Is he single? Meet the half-Australian prince who's next in line to the Danish throne.
Can anyone tell me why he's become king? Because no one's died. Hasn't his mother just decided to hand it down to him?
Yeah.
Like, can the British royals do that?
Yeah, you can. She's abdicated. That's what she's done. So I think the timing was crucial because there was a bank of Mexican ladies that were sort of lining up to say, hey, he's mine over here. And that's why they went, what's wrong, Tom? What's wrong?
No, well, that was Spanish. Do you mean Spanish?
Mexican, mate. She was Mexican.
I thought
you sure? I
he
don't
was
think
rocked
she was
by his
part of a
night
drug
out
cartel.
with the Mexican socialite.
Oh, sorry.
Don't question me on Frederik's list of ladies.
With your proclamation.
Can we move on to this bit? Because this is how exciting it got, Fitz. The slip-in which we talk about on that night here in Sydney when Frederik and Mary first met, there was another woman called Mary that was there on the night. She went back to the slip-in. She went back to the slip-in 20 years later because she was there on the night to celebrate Princess Mary. Have a listen to this.
A little bit of Denmark comes down under. Raising a glass at the pub where a future king and queen had met. The slip-in, Sydney's Olympics 2000.
It was just the buzz. There was a definite feeling in the room.
Mary Iskander was there that night. The Mary that could have been, but never was.
I'm the other Mary. It was my friends that really rubbed it in my face, and they're like, he probably walked straight past you.
And even down the bottom of the screen, it just said the other Mary.
Oh, there, yeah. Yeah,
Forever the other Mary. And that's the exciting part of the story. Once this story left Australia, I'm sorry, you're not the British royal family.
Well, I know a guy that hooked up with Mary just before Frederick.
Go on.
So, I mean, is that... I suppose it's not... I mean, that's not a... That's not really a story, is it? Because, I mean, she wasn't... It's not like she was a royal beforehand.
Yeah, but that's the most interesting thing that I've heard in the past 4 minutes of this radio break. We're talking about the Danish royals, Fitz, King and Queen, Mary, Frederik. I challenge you to name another member of their royal family.
Well, the proclamation is does anyone care? Brendan in Mount Annan's got quite angry about this. Do you care, Brendan?
No, not at all.
No.
Brendan, I just can't believe the coverage. I mean, I understand the great story of a Tassie girl ending up a queen, but outside of that, where's the interest?
Don't care, mate. I'd rather sit down and watch the Gladiators.
So true.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brendan. You know what? The best part about this story, though, is that he is the Prince of Denmark, and he's met a Tasmanian girl in a pub in Sydney.
That's it.
And they've ended up having, 5 kids together. That is an amazing story, and that's a dream for every girl out there to meet a prince like this. Can I give you another one?
Oh, yeah, what do you got?
How's this one, Brendan? Listen to this one. But Prince of Brunei, Abdul Mateen is his name. He has just married a commoner.
I wanna live like common people. I wanna do whatever common people do. Wanna sleep with common people.
He's sleeping with a commoner.
Yeah.
So this guy is really hot. They call him, like, in Brunei, he's like the James Bond image over there. He poses in military fatigues. He's got guns in one hand, and then next he's riding on a horse. He's very Vladimir Putin.
I was going to say.
He's worth $30 billion, Whip. He's got, he puts up photos. He's got 2.7 million followers on Instagram.
Jeez.
And he puts up photos of him kneeling next to his own tiger with the caption, "Back home with my buddy." This guy's massive.
Can I just say, military uniform, the tie, it's got a bit of a Michael Jackson feel about it.
There is a little bit of a Michael Jackson. He's got 7,000 cars.
No, he doesn't.
He has 7,000 cars.
Is that because he owns the whole town? And
well,
therefore
this
he
is
owns,
the thing.
You know, like the Queen owns the swans all around the world.
Well, this is do you know they have a 10... This is part of their tradition. It's a 10-day royal wedding.
Oh my
It started
God.
with a powdering ceremony. I mean, that's usually the Bucks party, isn't it? There's 40 spear carriers. They fire off 17 cannons.
What?
And then there's a lavish banquet. I think we're into the 8th day. It says here now. There's still 2 days to go of the wedding.
You'd need another powder ceremony halfway through, I reckon.
Her name is Yang Rosner. It's a beautiful story because they met when they were kids.
Yeah,
and
right.
he just stayed in love with her the whole time. Now, that is an interesting story. That's bigger than the proclamation of the Danish royals, isn't it? Has to be.
Well done on proclamation, Tom.
Yeah, we've got, speaking of interesting stories, Fiona from Maroubra.
Yeah.
She was at the slip-in on the night that Mary met Frederik.
The only interesting part of the story.
And she's got a bit more goss for us.
Okay,
Fiona, welcome to the show, Fee. This is fascinating. You were there on that night. Tell us what you know.
Okay, so there I was in the bar. I must admit, I'd polished up okay that night.
Yeah.
And 2 guys in suits came up to me and they said, "There's a guy over there that wants to meet you." And I looked at him and he was sort of far away and I went, "Yeah, that's nice, but not interested." Because I was engaged at that time and I was happy and I was just out having a good time. And they've said, "No, really, you should meet him." I said, "Yeah, that's great. Really don't want to." They came back about 10 minutes later and they said, "He's actually a prince. He's a prince and he wants to meet you." And I showed them my engagement ring. They dropped the prince line on me. Yeah. And I went, "Sorry, mate, not going to happen." Because in that second I thought, oh, God, I've been so naughty. There's so much gossip about me. If I went out with a prince, it's going to be a bloody nightmare. So I've gone, I don't
This
think
is
so.
so funny. Fiona,
I know.
do you regret not sliding the ring straight off your finger and going over there for a chat with Frederik?
Not really.
Fee, can I ask, you were there with some friends. Did you then follow those guys around and did you watch what happened after that? Did they go up to any other women or how did it all happen?
No, I didn't. I was sort of like, well, that bit's done, and they were a bit heavy about it. Like, it wasn't threatening, but they were a bit determined. And I just thought, let's just leave that alone and get to another part of the bar.
Well, I would assume the way you were approached was the way Mary was approached. So
you have to think so, yeah.
You do. You got to think that, and this happens a lot with celebrities where the merry men will turn up and say he'd really like to meet you. So I wonder if when you said no, they went, okay, Frederik, sorry, buddy, let's scratch that first idea. Who else in the bar would you like to meet? Next stop, Mary.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Do you look like Mary at all?
No, I don't. I'm blonde.
Can I ask a question, Fiona? And just be honest. Don't worry about who's listening. Do you think you're better looking than Mary?
Ooh, that's a hard
That's
call.
a yes. You'd know if it was a no, but so it's a yes.
She's so well groomed, though.
Don't worry about that.
She is.
I'm more fun. I'm definitely more fun, I think.
More fun.
And
wow.
Yeah.
You were
and
Frederik's first pick.
Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Coming to America. Do you know how they all they looked at the globe and they went, let's go to Queens? And it sounds like Frederik was like, I want to meet my future wife tonight.
I know. Random Aussie girl in a bar.
And I reckon he's thrown a few darts before he's found Mary, by the sounds of it,
That's
Fiona.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
So you did you see Mary there that night? Do you remember?
No, I didn't. I remember, actually, I have a vague memory of them sitting talking at sort of over in this boothie thing.
Right.
Because I had a little look at them and went, he could be a prince, but I don't want to play this game. But then I thought, okay, so he's got a girl next to him, that's all good.
But he's not a bad-looking guy. You must have thought, Fiona, when you looked over the shoulder when the security was there, you must have thought, oh, yeah, he's a good-looking Brewster.
Yeah, I did think that, but I also actually did think risk assessment, no, it's going to be bad. I've done too many naughty things.
Oh my God.
You know, if they go, not bad naughty, I haven't killed anyone, but I've had adventures. And I thought,
Fair.
yeah.
Fiona,
And some of my family, we've all got skeletons, right?
Don't we?
And I'm thinking,
So you're a
I'm
swinger.
No, hang on. Fiona, have you ever hooked up with any other celebrities or people of note?
Absolutely.
Give us a name.
Well, she's a Maroubra. She's a Maroubra girl, so I'd say there'd be a couple of bunnies in there, wouldn't there, Fee?
Absolutely not. I do have some standards. Get a grip.
Fiona, that's extraordinary. Can we find out your details off air? Because I want to see what you look like. Can we got her Instagram page, Key? Yep, Ollie, we've tracked her down.
That is fascinating. Is it a running joke with you and your friends now, Fee, that you let a prince go?
I don't tell that many people.
You do now. We've got over 600,000 listening. Hey, what's interesting, Tom, because Fiona missed out on this moment, and she was fine with that, and I assume you're happily married, we should find out the Prince of Sydney. And we could have a beautiful moment for Fiona and whoever that gent may be.
Oh, you wait, there's so much more.
Is your husband like a king to you?
You know what? I left him before we were engaged, and I left him.
So you didn't marry him?
I didn't marry him.
And you passed on Frederik?
Yes.
Oh,
but can I just say now, looking at what Mary's going through, Fee, you have avoided...
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Devastation.
Huge bullet. Huge bullet.
Mate, you don't want to live that life. Imagine you being stuck in Denmark. Absolutely no chance. Did you see the eldest 18th birthday party? I couldn't think of anything worse. It was so horrible.
Oh, achingly dull.
Oh, Fiona.
Crying with tears of boredom.
Imagine living in a palace with servants and everything you wanted, your food, your breakfast, your travel, everything sorted, all the jewels you could ever dream of. It would be horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Could you sneak off for a cheeky Chardonnay?
Yeah.
Could you make a dirty joke?
Tommy, what about
Could you
this?
make a dirty joke?
Let Fiona at least do something with the show. We would like to put you forward for Traffic Dating, our segment on the show. We're going to find you a date.
Yeah. What a
All
win.
right? You can,
Yeah, I think we can do that.
You can go on a date with Frederik's first choice. Fiona, what a great story. We love you. You are now in the running to see Taylor Swift in Tokyo.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Bye-bye.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.